For Bundesliga match day 28 on the 5th of April 2019. Um, I provided a video yesterday trying to explain this perfect betting game that I introduced here a bit better. And so maybe I can, well, you watch this and then you understand this here a bit more easily, or a bit better, I should say. What I've done here is, as usual, I compile the prices with my system, with my computer, whereby I actually have now two systems running. There's this one old system that I invented way back in, well, let's say 1990, but I started some software already at the university in 1984. So between 1984 and 1990, I improved the system more and more, and I made some kind of prediction tools already at university. When there was still those big machines, no one had a PC at home, or they just started mid 80s, I would say. But I didn't have one. I had to go to university, but I did everything but study mathematics. Instead, I worked on the system, but I was also gambling professionally with backgammon in 85, 86, 87, 88, or somewhere around there. Anyway, those are the chances for home win, draw, and away win. The results that matter most. Of course, you can say, well, what is a 3-1 win? That's what I'm interested in. I have those prices here. I could actually show you. If someone wishes to know whether or not I can do that, I can easily do that. I can also do half-time, full-time. Those are the prices. But here I have, there are nine chances of these, right? It starts with a draw at halftime. It ends with a draw, the whole game starts with a draw. So 3 chances with every halftime scoreline. So 3 times 3. Anyway, it's not even coming up to 100% here. No, but here are the results, which are not formatted. But if you want to know the 3-1 in the game Mainz against Freiburg, this is the true price for a 3-1 win. Where is it? I just had it here. 1 in 23.78, so something over 4%. Anyway, into the table go the points that matter most, and secondly only the goal difference. So, and it's pretty unlikely to end up level on points, and even then it is still unlikely that a major decision is based on the goal difference. They still mention it here and there, and of course you favor a 3-0 or 5-1 over a 2-1 win because you have more goals. You also grow in confidence, but you still get just 3 points for that. Anyway, I consider those the chances that are relevant as betting market does, because if you bet here, which is a very regular way of betting, you bet those 3 chances. At least you can bet all those 3 chances. And that is where the major turnover still has been made, I guess, although the goal line bets are also growing in size and importance. So you bet over or under. Usually the line is 2.5, 2.5 goals. More than that is 3 or more. Less than that is 2 or less. Anyway, I compile those prices by compiling these chances. Distribute the 100% of all the possible outcomes. And if you want to do the perfect betting game on any of these chances, you can happily do that, because you can say it's a draw or it's not a draw. So you take 73.23, the reverse to 100%. 100% minus this as the chance for not the game to end in a draw. If you want to do this for other things in the world to happen, you always have the chance. You bet on the chance to occur or not to occur, or the other one. One side takes this to happen, the other side takes it not to happen. So that would always make it 100% easily. You say, I guess it's 30% something is going to happen, and it's 70% it's not going to happen. Oh. In spite of all the other possible chances. If you want to have Hamilton to win the Formula One once again, or I don't know, often you won, and you can say, I bet him to win, or the other one says, I bet any other. I bet not Hamilton. Or he says, Schumacher, is he Nick Schumacher? I don't know. Is he in the Formula One right now? I don't care for this sports. Anyway, of course you can do it also like this, that you set up all the chances for every driver to win the Formula One. Or a single race. So then you could have 25 possible outcomes, right? You have to give a chance to any of them. Anyway, it's not actually what I wanted to tell you. But I hopefully try to find something interesting. I distribute the 100% on these possible outcomes. And I do it to my best knowledge and understanding. As I was trying to say, I worked out a new system that is more based on the game stats, and I showed this in other videos maybe. But there I have even different prices, or I tried to get them together, but I'm still working on this new system, trying to improve it and trying to, well, maybe outclass the old one, because I think the stats matter more. Here you would say it's rather purely based on results, but results is what matters. And also, if you play a good game and you lose it, you still lost. So maybe your confidence is lowered by that, as a bad game with a loss would do. It would do the same. So this was my first approach, and actually it's still the one that is on. I'm still allowed to do some adjustments here, manual. Anyway, it's not what I wanted to talk about really, but it's whatever I come by here. And I try to introduce or explain a few things, and maybe you like it, or you find it interesting, or it helps you in improving yourself in betting, in beating the market. Here I entered the best prices from market, as I usually do, just to have someone betting against me in this perfect kind of betting game. And I entered those prices. They may vary, they may still change, and maybe there are other bookmakers that pay different prices all over the world. Here's just a couple of, maybe it's telling me here, it's 12 bookmakers. Here it's just 11, but this is 12th of April, so one hasn't even started from these 11. Hasn't even made a price, but why should he? Anyway, it's just 12, and there may be 159 in the world. I don't know, or it's 1,288. I have no idea. And maybe you find someone that pays a different price. Usually they just write down single prices considered meaningless, or they say, well, I know the market, I know this, all those games, I know what they are like, I know what the average home price should be. So, I can show this as well here, maybe. Maybe it is helpful from time to time to show that. Now, if I got a game like Mainz against Freiburg, for example, or let's say we look at the table first of all. Mainz and Freiburg, they are neighbors in the table. They got the worst goal difference, so you could still argue -20, Mainz, -5 Freiburg. And Freiburg has more points. You could argue Freiburg are the better team. It's not what my computer would say, but you could also say that the average price expected, that my computer has expected, is 2.20. We had many home wins last week, remember that. The average price they played at is 2.20. So it's around 45% home wins. This is what I expected, and this is what actually occurred. So I can't complain here. But first of all, check this price. That's 2.20. So if you get 2.22, or this is, I mean, I have a slightly bigger price here, which is still, it's not adjusted to 100%, or it's not shaped to 100%, I should say. But those 222 are more or less saying those are teams on one level. Or it would say Freiburg are the slightly better side. Because if I pay 2.22, then, as worked out here, the true price could be 2.30. So that would mean Freiburg are the slightly better side. And then you could agree very well, because we just looked at the table where Freiburg are 2 points better and also 15 goals better, which is still some kind of random occurrence to me. I could also show you this ranking that I have here. Maybe you like this. And then I guess Mainz will be the better side. But no, it's not the case. Freiburg had so many good efforts that they overtook, and they overtook them quite by quite some miles actually, which I would not have. I could have seen. I could have looked it up here as well, because this says 0.59, 0.86. It's for all the goals they conceded: 6-0 loss, 0-1, 4 losses in a row, with a goal difference of 1-3, 1-9, 2-12. There was one win, but then another 3 heavy losses, with a goal difference of 1-11. So that would be 4-11 and 2-12. That would be 6-23 in the last 8 games. So that's pretty terrible. That's what brought them down. But then I could look at the home advantage, and this home advantage is a bit bigger than average, and this home advantage is maybe a bit smaller than average. No, it's also bigger. So they are playing away from home, so they are a home side too, and that's maybe the reason that the computer says as well. Yeah, they are. It's a pretty normal home game, and if you would think about it yourself, you will also say, "Oh, okay, that was a major." It's not what I wanted at all to happen. That's what I'm gonna do now. Is very simple. Come back to this, get back to this, get back to this. I chose the wrong option there. Well, it's just the way that the world is somehow compiling the prices, more or less teams on one level, so 2.20, somewhere around that, maybe Freiburg the better side, so a bit more than 2.20. So that's very easy, whereby it won't be that easy to make a game like Schalke against Freiburg like this, although market also pretty much in line with myself. But there you can't say, well, they are not on one level. That's a huge gap between them. So how far would you adjust this home price and this away price? Anyway, so this is an easy one to compile. This is a far more difficult one. But still, if one takes it from the other here, then you just get this, well, a very regular price. And people that do not understand this business and make a bad price here, they are not dying out in this world. People that do not really know how to do that, but they run out of money. So they are meaningless at the betting market. Just the good gamblers, they survive and they drive the lines and prices and so on. So it's not so difficult anymore. It has been back in the 90s actually, where people didn't really know what was going on. And they worked out the prices all by themselves. So one was setting up a price, the other one was setting up a different price, and then you had huge differences there, and they didn't care at that moment. They cared after they noticed they are opening those sure bets, which meant you bet the one side at the one bookmaker, the other side at the other bookmaker, and you are a certain winner. Exploiting this would not just mean to bet those chances, but also to bet big amounts of money. Because, well, if you are sure to win, a sure bet, I'm gonna win either I'm gonna win 100, or I'm gonna win 85, or I'm gonna win 48 euro. If you work it out like this, then you would say, well, why do I not double by my bet so I win 200 or 170 or 96, if I'm right with my memory with the values I set up before out of my head. And so then the bookmakers would have huge amounts of money all of a sudden on some phony prices, some false prices, some bad. They took huge amounts of money, or they did not take them, but they did take them at some point. And then they noticed, oh, huge turnover, we're doing fine. Well, not so good, because maybe that was a mistake, because I paid too big a price on that chance. Which the punter that went for that, he didn't care for. Either this guy makes a mistake or the other one makes a mistake. I don't care. I just pick up the money. So let's them struggle it out. Who's going to survive at the market and who's going to die at the market? Who's going to go down, let's say. Anyway, all these things did happen. They are not happening anymore. We did not have really the internet in the early 90s. Somewhere then it started. And in 1997 or so, I think I even started setting up with someone a platform already with the online betting, somewhere around there, when you still had to tune in with a modem also. And you had those strange sounds that you know from fax machines, maybe. And the modem was connecting. Now this is all running differently, but anyway, and so somewhere there it started with the online betting. But now it's a very transparent world. And if you're not happy with this site, it's pick another one. And then you can check it there. Anyone has access to these prices, and even a week before the matches are being played. So you know already now for April 14th, maybe not for the week to come. I could do that easily. Maybe you like it to see that, and so I can do that 2 weeks ahead when no one does have a price yet. And I could do a price here, because that's everything on zero. Schalke play Hoffenheim. Which game do we take? Augsburg, Stuttgart, maybe a nice one. What would we say? Well, maybe computer. What would he say here? Maybe some Wolfsburg against Frankfurt. Let's do this one. What would you guess? If I press here Command B. I've done that too early. I wanted you to guess the price or myself. Pretty even game, Wolfsburg to be small favorites. I can do that anytime, so my software is ready for that. Of course I can do Bayern Werder, but we will have 120, what would you say? No, maybe right now 125? No idea. Okay, really? Great, 125. Because Werder are so good. Still, this is like 70. I want to do that wrong. No, out of my head. Something with 70 at the upper end. Maybe. Oh no, that was a bad one I brought up here. Just to show you the percentage, maybe. Yeah. 78, I don't know, 77.5. Okay, I wasn't bad. I was just taking the reverse of this true price, which is the one that goes in 2 weeks. So maybe you can check in 2 weeks whether or not this price is going to change. It's not going to change by much. 125 seems to be Well, if Bayern lose, Werder win, and so on, then it could rise a bit or go down a bit. Because my computer is doing all those adjustments to the evaluations. Now here, okay, this is bet market best prices. This is my own prices. I have to shape these to 100%. I've done this here already by multiplying all those chances with the reciprocal 100 divided by 103.61 of this, and you see that here, that formula 1 divided by I17, so I17 is this, 1 divided by this, and it's the same here, G17 times, or I can show that here because it's highlighting those times reciprocal of that, and I take them all three. So I'm fancying, I'm telling market that's what you think, what the probability is for Mainz to beat Freiburg, and it's very close to Mainz. So I mean, who's better here? This is hard to tell. Anyway, so but if you would do that in private and maybe do it for 3 weeks ahead, so no one would have those prices, and do it with a friend or your friends, and you say, I'm not telling you what I'm gonna write down. Write down your prices. I write down mine. Then we compare, and then we get the bet, and we have this budget thing I explained yesterday, which is also given here. How much of your budget would you be ready to bet? And you give this in percent. How much of the budget would you be ready to bet on this chance? How much of your budget would you be ready? In the end, we add up this two sizes of bets for either for any of these chances, as I've done here. Sum is 2,000 here because I said the budget is 1,000 each. So either one of us takes his percentage of his budget to bet it on this chance. But if we take the two percentages of this budget together, then we got the total size we bet against each other on this true price. So I bet for his true price the amount I was ready to bet. He was betting on my true price the amount he was ready to bet, which is based on those two probabilities. So there's not a lot to gain. As you see here, we are almost agree on that. It's just 32.45 that I would win, because I said it's a little bit more likely that Mainz win than market says. It's absolutely meaningless, and this is not what the final balance will be based on such results. But still, it would matter a bit. And as I pointed out already, market either is not sensible for those draws, or it is just not. It doesn't care for it really. I mean, it's not sensible, or it doesn't work it out properly. Or yeah, but if it's not sensible, it's meaningless because people do not bet that. As I showed here, I was expecting 23.29%. There has been one more match day played. 23.29% draws. There had been 23.86. So this is a very small difference, which I would say, well, it just can happen. You can also count it in totals. I was predicting 56.61 draws so far. There had been 58. So one match day with a little fewer, with just one draw maybe, and would be adjusted. But if there would be 4 next match day, then I would go a bit further wrong. Anyway, I'm pretty close to that usually. That is for all the games taken together. Market is not sensible for that, or it's explicitly this page, this selection of bookmakers. I don't know. They just pay lower prices on the draw. No, they play. What are they doing? 3.56. Here are somewhere are the true prices against each other. It's playing, of course, lower prices because I'm gonna lose on those draws, right? So it's paying lower prices. So its market is more or less predicting a lower chance for a draw to occur. which would not mean a lower chance. Why do I say that? I say it's a lower chance. Market says it's a bigger chance for a draw to occur. Because if the bigger chance occurs, as market says, I'm going to lose money. A little bit only, but still it would be a bit too much if they, if they all ended in a draw. It's just in this game that my draw evaluation, I could well explain this, because this is a matter of total goals. And the computer says whenever Leipzig play, which is true as well, I could show you here, whereby maybe I should go back. And I'm not going to store this, although you may have noticed now what the prices are. I'm going to do them, recompile them, when the match day is on. As you see here, computer says, well, 2.66 goals. It's not a lot, but it's not a minimum too. So there's also Mainz Freiburg where computer says a bit fewer goals, also in Schalke Freiburg. But what market would say if okay, what market would say if Leverkusen play, there are goals to come. This is Peter Bosch, or I don't know, they've done so from the start, but they would always say there are goals to come. I can't fully disagree to that. Well, it's a meaningless deviation. I mean, compared to the others, but why would I have to argue if I'm losing on 8 of the draws and on 1 of them I'm not losing? Still, you could say maybe how sensible it is there with the draws and why I react like this. The computer says Leipzig are a real underside. This is maybe what you noticed. While market would say, well, this is Leverkusen, this is a real overside. This is weighing each other out more or less, and like this, it's still a bit more likely the draw, because the fewer goals there are, the more likely the draw becomes, obviously, because 0-0, 1-1, 2 of the very likely results are getting more likely if you have fewer goals. Anyway, it's a lot argued about this. Actually, I would say there are not these huge differences. Here, I could say, well, okay, in this law, let's look at where I'm gonna win money. We're not gonna count this. In Leverkusen Leipzig, computer would say it's a bit more likely that Leipzig would win, which in reality I would not really sign here. And actually, I would also a bit more actually fancy Leverkusen. They were unlucky. They lost twice when they were the better side in against at home, Werder, and in Hoffenheim. And they were really good, but Leipzig also in very fine shape. So I'm gonna take that. And as I predicted when Leverkusen took Bosch, and he's going forward and so on, they are very happy as long as the results are good. But as soon as you get a 1-3 and a 1-4 in a row, and they start thinking already, well, why is he playing so offensively? We would rather not concede these many goals. And they do not notice that it's good football and it's also bad luck, which they would never agree here on. But anyway, I'm happy to take Leipzig as well. It's just a meaningless deviation. Well, meaningless. Okay, let's not argue about these. Here I would in fact fancy very much Frankfurt. They played, Schalke played midweek. They lost again to Werder, although they played okay. But I would say, well, Frankfurt. What is it? What is my predictions? My predictions are ready. What do you think is going to happen? I can tell you what's going to happen. 44.2%, and that's all you can say. I'm not. How much further would I guess how a game is going to end? No, 44.25% is wrong. I think 45.56 now. No, I think 45.1. No. Well, and now what have I done then? Nothing. Just a percentage. And afterwards you wouldn't even be able to evaluate it, not in a single instance. Let's take 1,000 games. Okay, then we can start arguing, have you been doing okay? But just in terms of these percentages. And I could show you a lot about this, of course, also the what I'm gonna do about it, how to rate this, how to prove my figures are doing okay. There are several methods, and they are not really known in mathematics, but they do exist, and I can prove they are right. I mean, it's a good method to verify your figures are good, or to verify how good they are. I mean, you cannot really verify it, because in all kinds of statistics you would have deviations occurring, and you couldn't avoid it. I mean, if I predict a single game and I say this is 44.25%, this is 26.26, this is 29.46, whether or not I'm right, I can't be right, because it's going to be 100. One of them is going to occur. So yeah, you were right. You said it's 29.49. It happened. So you were right, because you said it can happen. Yeah, I wasn't right. I wasn't wrong. I was nothing. Neutral. If you take 2 games, still meaningless. But if you take 100 games, you can start arguing. I have to delete the results here first. Anyway, why would I? I mean, here it appears a bit, okay, I'm against the draw, that's all. I would support Frankfurt a bit more at the market, the Asian market, more or less. But, and I mean, they took Stevens as a coach, okay. Very good coach. I remember this very well when I saw him in 1997 when he played with Roda in Schalke, actually, 3-1. Or they played the first game in Roda. I don't know. Anyway, they instantly had an eye on this coach. But I remember this game when I saw that, when they discovered Stevens, more or less. He was then coach for Roda. And they took him to Schalke the year after. Eurofighters, when was that? I don't know. Was he coach then? Most likely. 1998 or well, I'm getting that mixed up, but still, I think 1997 they discovered him. Anyway, but now this is 20 or more years gone, and well, how would you think he would improve? I mean, he's playing his style, and he's trying to defend the nil. He's not trying to concede a goal. And that's more or less not actually football they are playing nowadays. They are trying to score goals, although they know they gotta do it carefully. Anyway, it's not the modern style of football anymore. But why would they sack Tedesco? Just because the results were standing out. And I mean, they didn't play well when they were vice champions. Okay, they still won that title, and they all praised him. Afterwards, they said, well, that was rather lucky. They didn't play so well last season. Okay. Well, now you get the intermediate result they deserved. Once they were second, now they are on 14th. So somewhere in the middle is what they deserved, and with or without Tedesco. So they could have finished 7th last season, now be in 8th place maybe. And then they would be fine with him, right? With the other distribution, they say he's not good enough. It's the way things go these days. Here I have to take Hanover. I'm just spotting, but it's not a huge difference. It's against the draw. Those €10 I'm ready to pay. I say this is a derby. I got Hanover, who did play well, really well against Schalke. And there, Stevens' concept went well, but he was just lucky because there were so many good chances for Hanover. They should have scored at least 1 goal. They didn't. But Wolfsburg are a bit overrated in table as well, I would say. And they also got these bad news. Labbadia is going to leave, so there are some inconveniences, or what do you call that? So I would happily, it's a derby. This is really close, Wolfsburg Hanover. And it is a real derby, and Hanover performed well, while Wolfsburg are a bit lucky right now, so I'm going to take them. I mean, it's still not a lot to argue about. but I'm happy. In Hertha Düsseldorf, I have to take Düsseldorf. I don't know why. I mean, right after Hertha did not play well, 0-5 Leipzig, but before that home game, well, I should remember, especially Hertha, of course, I can always look it up. But what was that? Oh, they lost in the last minute to Dortmund. But it was okay the way they played, but they were still outclassed, clearly outclassed. And but the market would take in, and before that they lost in Freiburg, right? So why would market right now say while Düsseldorf beat Gladbach? And of course, I understand the concept that they would say, well, Düsseldorf are happy with what they got, but that definitely is not Funkel's approach, Coach Funkel's approach. I mean, he would try everything to get them running. If they don't do it, maybe, yeah, they somehow relax now, they're happy with what they got. But then we could talk about Hertha as well. I mean, their season is more or less over. What would they be trained for, right? I mean, hoping for 10th place against 11th place. Those are not the points, 35, 34. But I mean, Europe is out of their sights. I mean, okay, 7 points. You could still argue, but 7 games to go. So many teams between them, and they are the better teams of Hoffenheim, Leverkusen, Werder. Even if they would be able to challenge maybe Wolfsburg, but how would they take over 3 or 4 of these? Werder are in cup, so maybe one more place vacant. What would you say? Anyway, I don't know. They stress there the emphasis. What is it? I don't know all the words. So well. And I'm happily gonna take Düsseldorf because I can't see anything wrong with their approach, with their performances. It's just fine. They were lucky, but how was it? 3-1. Sorry, did I say 4-1? 3-1. How would this be lucky with 3 early goals? Then you say, well, we haven't got to do a lot more than hold on to what we got. Here I have to take Nuremberg. I am happily gonna do that. The 3-0 was a boost. Stuttgart never played well all season. I can see that, and I can show that in graphs as well, that they didn't never reach their level they expected or they wanted to be. Nuremberg are playing on their level, which is a low level, very low level, but still they are not that far apart. And actually, of course, that 3-0 Nuremberg did win over Augsburg. It's giving them the boost they need, and it's 4 points now. How many points are there between them? I have to check with every other game. There's 4 points between them. Actually, goal difference even speaks for Nuremberg a bit, not to be the worst side even. And so where's the problem? I mean, it's also very highly traditional because they were first years starters. I don't know how you say that in English, but they are there. They had been there from the start. They both went down a couple of times. Nuremberg a lot more. But it's also just 150 kilometers, so fans, supporters are ready to travel this distance and support their team when the chance is really on. I mean, a win here, and it's just an open race, right, if they would win there. So why not? I mean, especially Stuttgart did not play well, unlike some of them might say. In Bayern Dortmund, I would happily take Bayern. I mean, it's not by much. I would love to have this bigger and maybe raise this chance, because I would say in these, I'm not taking this much influence on the figures, and of course I'm happy market says the same. So what could be wrong with it? So if you could argue, they know what's. I mean, they lost the first leg, and this was when. Well, it was not when it started, because with Dortmund were ahead already. But it was maybe the moment when they thought, well, now we really have to watch out, and maybe the title is gonna slip. But they will have this in mind, and they were the better side. Also in the first encounter, they were the better side. They still lost 2-3, but they will. And the better side, they maybe. I mean, what did I used to say? They have this sixth gear if you want so, right? They can, well, they can still step up one gear. I mean, the weaker side can't. I mean, they play their very best, and they've done so all season, and they got a bit too much for that. But how would they step up one gear? I mean, Bayern, they circle the ball, they always have the possession, they create their chances, they score their goals very regularly. But I mean, how to step up a gear? You have to change this. But when you know this is the game that matters, then still the better side, they can step up this one gear. I'm pretty certain. So if you want to take this as an advice, go with Bayern, and on Monday you can blame me. All the money is gone. No, it's 2 points now. It is exactly the perfect situation. And now this is uh, 61, 63. So it's these 2 points, and they are better on goal difference anyway. It's these 2 points they're gonna not just cover up, but beat. It's more than they can gain 3 and take over on points, not just on goal difference, which happened before already. In Augsburg-Hoffenheim, I have to take Augsburg no matter what. Although I have to admit I did not like them so much. It was not the Nuremberg game that I disliked. It was some of the games before when they really didn't. They did beat Dortmund, which was very fine. They didn't play well here. They were lucky in Leipzig. Hanover, okay, but well, I liked them better before, and I can prove that in graphs. Maybe I should show you at some point how I can read that. But here I'm happily gonna go with Augsburg, although Hoffenheim are definitely a very good side. But here they were lucky, and sometimes they really had been struggling. Here they needed the injury time, I think, or at least very late, 86 maybe. But very late winner against. So, and yeah, well, I'm gonna take happily Augsburg, go with Augsburg. Here I have to take Werder. As I see now, I declared myself pretty neutral, but I have to say with this midweek news about Hacking not contract not extended, and I think there are some things going on that are not really in favor of Gladbach. I can't name them really or say what it's like, but something is not going so well. Well, Werder are just flying high. I mean, they are exceptionally good, and this Kruse, it's incredible what he does there. And now he was giving a very nice interview again when he said, well, nothing is decided yet about his future because 30 years old, they would all love to take him England or anywhere abroad too, because they know this is the age. I mean, in Italy they know best or they most appreciate this age. Maybe 29 is 1 year better, but not 27. That would be too young. They know this is exactly when you maximum can exploit all your experience with all the with all the youth that is still in you, within no restrictions yet of any kind until maybe 32. You would say, well, okay, but so they would happily take him anywhere in the world, I think. Well, Barcelona, Real Madrid, maybe they are out of the contest. But I mean, lots of very good teams would like to have him now. And still, he was. And I think it's also a good decision if you would stay there, especially if they reach Europe, which is a very good chance. Anyway, so some trouble in Gladbach, some very good news. They won semi-final cup, might be distracting a bit or cost some energy. I don't know which one counts more, but also a small boost in confidence. And this is highly professional football. They all play on it. And if some player is tired, they all instantly notice. They got all those lactate, I don't know what it's called, but they know all those how to measure it. So which they didn't used to know in maybe back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when players just played until they were too tired and they even got injured. and they didn't know about it. But now they got squad sizes of 29 players at least. I don't know. And if someone is tired or his values are no good, then he's replaced by someone who's as good. And they all know that. And also the players on the bench, they know that chance is going to come, or they play every third game or so. Now those injuries and anyway, I mean that's some knowledge about football that I'm distributing here. I hope you like it or you enjoy it. You can do something with it, or yeah, it helps your further career in betting if you do so. Anyway, I'm gonna close this now. I think I talked enough about the games and also about football in general, which you may notice that I would happily talk a lot more about and tell also some more of those stories that I'm always, I'm having in my mind. And I think, yeah, lots of these. I mean, also about the bet market, what I said when 1991 or so, when they opened all those sure bets and so on. I never made use of these, but still I was trying to find the one who made a mistake, just to make sure. I mean, if you see there are prices that are heavily deviating and contradicting each other, or more or less opening a sure bet for you, then you know there's at least one of them making a really bad mistake. And my freakers told me anyway which one it was. And sometimes it happened that even both sides made a mistake. But there were so terrible errors they made, and I can remember a couple of them, but I don't want to bore you with that right now. I'm going to close the video. I thank you a lot for watching, being so patient and being so kind too. Also to subscribe to my channel, which you've done, or a couple of you still ask you or would appreciate it. Some more of you would do so after you watch it. And also the commentary, which I didn't go into now, but leave some more of them. I will answer your questions. Like them, of course, share them, comment on them, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.